Christ came and died on the cross in our place, in our stead, took upon himself the sin of the whole world, so that if you or I will turn from our sin and believe in him, God will forgive us of our sin and accept us as righteous in his sight, securing salvation for us, so that we can be with him for all eternity. One of the passages me and Roger went over one time is found in Luke chapter 18. Roger was struggling with how to obtain right standing with God at that time. He, like many people, was caught up with the whole idea of his good works. He thought that if his good works could outweigh his bad works, then he could be right with God. He also had the problem of, he thought his good works actually didn't outweigh his bad works, which is a good sign that someone's seeing the true state, because we're all sinners. We've all sinned, and we're all in need of salvation. And the passage I shared with Roger was found in Luke chapter 18, verse 9, where Jesus told this parable about two guys who went up to the temple to pray. And it said, also he, talking about Jesus, spoke this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the tax collector, standing afar off, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. And Jesus concludes that parable by saying this, I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. When I was a young Christian and I would read this passage, I would be like, what's up with Jesus here? It seems like he's putting down good works. This Pharisee's doing all these wonderful good works. And then here's this lousy, low-life tax gatherer, and he just beats his breast and says, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. He's accepted, but the guy doing all the good works isn't. It's like Jesus against us living holy lives and doing good works. Well, he's not. He's all for us living holy lives and doing good works. But the point of this parable is found before Christ spoke. It says here, as we read, he spoke this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. We cannot trust in our own goodness for right standing with God. The Bible says that our righteousness is as filthy rags. The best, nicest, good things we can do are as filthy rags in his sight. The Bible says that all of us have sinned and fallen short of his glory. When the scripture talks about his glory, it's not talking about some bright light or some little halo around someone's head. It's talking about their very character. Our character is so unlike his. We've all fallen short of his character. Our righteousness is as filthy rags. This is what Jesus was addressing here, was those who trusted in their own righteousness rather than the righteousness of God for acceptance with the Father. The righteousness of God is Jesus and him crucified. And so he says, two men went up to the temple to pray, and the Pharisee lists all these wonderful good things. And then the tax collector stands afar off, wouldn't even raise his eyes to heaven, beat his breast, God be merciful to me, a sinner. And Jesus says, that man went home to his house justified, rather than the other guy who had his long list of good deeds. Showing that we must trust in the mercy of God for right standing with God. We must trust in his mercy, which is found through Jesus Christ. We cannot trust in our own good works. If you've committed sins, if you've committed crimes against God, if you've done things that you're ashamed of, that are unspeakable, that you haven't even told the closest to you, and you think God can never forgive you of them? He can. He can forgive you of each and every one of them. You need to ask Him to forgive you. And He will. You'll be radically forgiven, radically transformed in your life. You'll actually want to read the Bible. You actually want to talk to people about Jesus. You actually want to pray. It's a radical life change that God does by the power of His Holy Spirit within our lives. And that's what I explained to Roger that day. To understand these things, to understand just how great a salvation this is. The end result of this salvation is coming to know God through Christ is a changed life. And we live in obedience to Him. We walk in good works, which He has before ordained that we should. It says in Corinthians that we live our lives to the glory of